Hey everyone, it's Kat. I've got a new video for you. So I was gonna do like a top 10 list of things that you needed to go back and get from old content that maybe you didn't know that you needed. But it ended up being like a really long video and I don't want to bore you guys to death. So instead I'm gonna do two videos. We'll do five in one, five in the other, and we'll do the five easiest that you can go back and get, and then we'll do the five hardest that you can go back and get. So for this video, we're going to look at five easiest things, and this is going to be kind of general things that you can go back and get um, that came out in previous content. A few of these, there might be upgrades in CD, and we'll talk about them if they do, but for a lot of these, either there never was an upgrade, or the upgraded version that's out now is actually worse than the old version, and you want to go back and get the old version. Okay, so number one on my list is going to be totems. So if you're a woodworker, this is something that you can craft yourself. If you're in a guild, I'm sure their depot is filled with a ton of these. They probably have them for free for you guys. But if not, they're on the broker. A lot of these still super cheap. So there's at least three totems that almost everybody needs. Okay, so everybody needs Totem of the Escape. Right, so if you're not familiar with that, that's an evac for you. Even if you're a class that has evac naturally or as a class spell, you still want to get Totem of Escape because they do tend to have long cooldowns on that. So absolutely get Totem of Escape. Okay, another one, so if you're a class that doesn't have underwater breathing naturally, you do want to get Totem of the Otter. Okay, so that'll let you breathe underwater. And then finally, Totem of the Deadly Sabertooth. So this is one of those things where if you're in a PQ or in a group and you notice that everyone in your group runs faster than you do. I don't know if you guys have had that happen, but I definitely had that happen to me, and I couldn't figure out why is everyone so much faster than me. Well, it turns out it's because most of them have this Totem of the Deadly Sabertooth. So it increases your run speed by 75%. So it doesn't work in combat, but if you're running to a place where the named is going to be and you're actually in a fight and people are just outpacing you and you're falling behind the group and you're losing the protection that comes with like moving with the herd, you definitely want to make sure you get this Totem of the Deadly Sabertooth. Get a big stack, put it in your bags, put it on auto consume. Okay, so that was number one, is to go get those totems. Number two on my list is tinkered items. Okay, and there are so many really cool tinkered items out there, right? There's a tinkered Feign Death. Even if you have Feign Death, it's, you can always get a backup to work when it's on the cooldown. There's a tinkered res, so it's gnomish weapon. It's gnomish technology, so it's not 100% reliable. But if someone in your group is down, your healer's res isn't up, or it's the healer themselves that's down and they forgot to put a res item in your bag, you have this backup. You can do this tinkered res. So they're called, of course they have the great names, right? Defibrillating Heartstopper for Feign Death, and they have Automated External Defibrillator for Tinkered Res. So, and while those are really useful and I would recommend getting them, the tinkered items that everyone is 100% going to expect you to have in your bags are going to be the Call the Tinkerer and the Repair Bot, right? The Mechanized Platinum Repository of Reconstruction. So Call the Tinkerer works a lot like Call the Veteran, if you're familiar with that. So someone that you're in a group with, you can target them, you right click on your Call the Tinkerer and use it, and you get ported to them. So as long as you're in the same zone and you're grouped, you can get ported to someone else in your group. So say, for example, you died and you revived back at the entrance to the zone. Well, everyone else in your group is on like the fourth boss. So for you to run back to them, you have to run through just mob after mob of trash and aggro the entire zone and probably die along the way. Well, much better option is to just use Call the Tinkerer and call to them. Okay, so absolutely want to get that. And a couple of these tinkered items might be a little bit pricey on the broker because they do require a lot of rares, but like Call the Tinkerer, the Repair Bot, you only ever need to buy it once, right? This will last you a lifetime, so it's worth the investment. And then the other thing is, of course, your Repair Bot. So, and here I have him on my hotbar. That's how important he is. Like every heroic group you run, they are going to expect you to have this. And most everyone in the group will have it, but he has a really long cooldown time, so you do want to rotate it if you guys end up getting in a lot of trouble and need to use him a lot. But you call him, and there he pops up. And very simple, all you do is click him. He's your mender, and just like all menders, he gives you the repair screen and everything that you can fix. Right? Everybody in the group can click on him and repair. Okay, so everybody can use him once he's up. Anybody can buy him off the broker. But to actually have him in your bags and be able to call him out, you do need to have a tinkering skill of at least 350. Okay, so if there wasn't enough incentive for you guys to become crafters, become tinkerers, adorners, transmuters, like we just keep piling it on you guys, right? Absolutely, there's so many cool things that you can make as a tinkerer, going all the way up to like the 550 skill, but at the very minimum you do need to get this guy. So the 350 tinkering, there's daily quests that are given out in all the major cities by trade skillers to get that tinkering up. Also a really great time to level tinkering is during Tinkerfest, though that is only coming around in July, so once a year to do that. Alright, so number 3 on my list of easy things to get that you really need is snacks. And no, I'm not just saying that because I'm hungry. Introduced during Pop is that we got snacks. So this is different from your food and drink. It doesn't go in your food and drink slot, and you do still need those. But this is in addition to those. So I've got a couple here in my bags. I'm going to show it to you. But you'll notice that these have little procs on them, right? And they'll give you extra stats. So I've got a few of my like tanky ones here because this is my SK. But this one gives me extra block. This one gives me hate gain. This one increases my parry, defense, aggression. And I have this Bonda here, which has my favorite proc for the snacks called Overwhelming Snack. But it increases my crit bonus overcap. And the cool thing about these, and I have them all on my hotbar, is well, they only last for about 12 minutes. And you cannot put them on auto consume. You actually have to right click on user. If they're in your hotbar, click them. But if I click them, and I'm going to go through and just click every one real quick here, is that you'll notice in my spell effects window is that they stack. Alright, it's not like I just have to pick one. I can just take all the ones that are going to help me out. Okay, so super useful. Get the most current stuff from CD for these. If you're a provisioner and you've done the CD trade skill line, you can already make them, but you should be able to find them on the broker pretty cheap. Okay, so number 4 on my list is to use your loyalty tokens. Okay, so this is something that you should be accumulating just with normal gameplay, right? Is every day you log in, you get the daily objectives. You have to do 2 things. It could be killing different creatures or mobs, crafting or harvesting or exploring new areas. But over time, you'll accumulate a lot of these, as much as a token a day. I think it's double that for members. But once a week, you can go see the loyalty merchant in either Kinos or Freeport. His name is Noble Tark Validus, and he will sell you a small bag of platinum coins. Okay, so 500 plat once a week just for doing what you're going to do anyway. Now, 500 plat is not a lot if you're one of those people who've been playing for years and years and years, and you have millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of plat in the bank. But if you're a new player, if you're a returning player, that 500 plat a week, that's 2,000 plat a month, just for doing nothing, that is going to be a big help. And a lot of the stuff I'm talking about today, you should be able to get for 500 plat, or a lot less. And very little effort, okay? Alright, so the first 4 done. Last on my list, number 5, power potions. So if you guys have been reading any of the forums, been talking to anyone in chat, one of the big things you'll hear over and over again with Chaos Descending, and we heard it in Planes of Prophecy, is power drains, right? The solos, even the solos, but a lot of the heroics do a ton of power drains. So how do you counter that, right? Because you cannot count on always having a power feeding class in your group. You just can't. So you have to come prepared to deal with power drains on your own. How do you do that? Power potions. But which power potions are the best? There are new ones for Chaos Descending. They give you a percentage of power back over a certain amount of time. Now, is that the best way to do it? It absolutely is not, right? Those are terrible. They're awful. They do almost nothing. You don't want to use them, okay? What you want to do is you actually want to go back 4 or 5 X packs, like all the way back to Ultra Malice, and that is why I am here in Phantom Sea, right? And get the power potions from here. Okay, those are still the best in game by a mile. So every week, even though this is old content, the dungeons are not challenging. I mean, most of the bosses here like fall over if I look at them sideways, but I will come out here and I will talk to Kragon, and I will pick up quests that he has, right? The weekly stuff. Now I can take heroics, event heroic, contested. I can even do the raids. They're so easy I can solo them at this point. But I will do all his quests in the effort to get Farron coins. Right? Far sees Farron, okay? Because with those coins, I can come into this little lighthouse and I can talk to Kadra. He's the Farron merchant, and he will sell me Essence of Malice, okay, for 8 coins each. Now, people do sell this on the broker, but they tend to sell it for just really obscene prices for something that just a little bit of time, a little bit of effort, you can come out here and get yourself. But let me show you the difference between Essence of Malice and the second best power potion in game, which is the Thalmic ones, right? The second best power potion, yep, goes all the way back to TOT and the Thalambra stuff. But okay, so if I use a Thalmic power potion, and this is going to give me almost 7,000 power immediately. Right, I use it, it gives me back a good chunk of my power. I can't use another potion for 1 minute and 20 seconds. Okay, so if I get immediately power drained after using that, I am just out of luck for the next minute or so. But if I use an Essence of Malice, I'm going to cast that. It does take a little bit to cast. It gives me back 13,000, so twice as much as the second best one. But look at that, it's ready to cast again. That's right, it has a recast time of 1 second. Okay, so basically no recast time. It is hard to beat that with anything. So if you have a big stack of Essence of Malice in your bags, which I would recommend you absolutely make sure you do, you will never have a problem with power drains. Okay, you will always have those potions. You should never be out of power. And those zones and those power drains will not be such a big headache. And your group mates will thank you for having them. Okay guys, those are my top 5 easiest things you need to go back and get. I hope this helps, and we will look at the top 5 hardest things to go back and get next time.